People have a very bad conception that domestic violence is only physical abuse, but it's not. There are different forms like emotional abuse and financial abuse, which I think most of the people suffer, and they don't know they've been suffering a lot since this through. And I think mainly ladies are suffering a lot, especially from Asian background, because they don't know where to go and to address this thing because of the name and shame of the family and themselves, how to deal with it. Some have a language barrier. I would advise them obviously to guide them to the appropriate place, like if the social service needed to be involved, what other services can be help can be given to them. But particularly being in a Muslim community, I would see there is a very big question always arises: how do we communicate with them? Again, the question comes with the name and shame, and the people. Even there are so many ladies. They come to myself as well, and they say we only want to talk to females only. But if being in a Muslim community, the women can go only to mosque, and mosque usually have only male staff, and they find it firstly difficult to communicate with them. And the other thing is that even though there are lots of organizations to help victim support the other ladies, but in that state of mind, it's difficult for them to go and approach them, to think about them, and they give general advice. So it's again the community by itself. Somehow they could help the individuals. They should have a very strong community spirit within to help and support each other. A very good neighborhood. So if something happens, they could help emotionally. That's the main first thing comes up in a domestic violence victim. They could help them. And if they need more support, they can guide her appropriately where should you go and do it. Domestic violence is wrong obviously because of the many reasons. It doesn't affect only for the short term, it has a long term effect on the whole family, the kids and the parents. And it does change the whole perspective of living alone. Some families get separated and everything. And some of the families who live in a domestic violence, they are not happily living within, so that even the future generation might be affected in this way. So it's absolutely wrong in every way.